Good morning! Welcome to day one of the Rakiura Tramp. So tramp means hike. It's what we call it here in New Zealand. So this is a 3-day tramp. It's one of New Zealand's great walks. We have a number of walks around New Zealand which are higher standard of track for tourists and go through some beautiful areas. So yeah, it's a 3-day hike. The kilometres aren't great. It's a little hilly, but no big mountains to climb, and mainly in this native bush and along some beaches as well. So this is in Stuart Island, or it's called Rakiura, which means the place of glowing skies. Population of 20,000 Kiwi on the island, and that's one of our main aims of this tramp, is to see a Kiwi. The breed of Kiwi they have here is Tukueka. There's 6 types of Kiwi. So that's one we see here. They do come out in daylight, but like most Kiwis, mainly nocturnal. So we'll be going out at once our tent is up, and late at night we'll go out with a torch and try and find them. But if we get our timing right, we may even see one during the day. Yeah, so here we go. First hike with Mum in a long time. And looking forward to it. These are the information signs just before the start of the trail. Little river, Mouldy Beach, oh that's Peters Point. And the highest mountain is Mount Anglim, 980 metres, just hidden behind the cloud there. There's a little bit of information about it. That's what it looks like. And just looking over here, you can see the fence. That's a predator fence protecting this little sanctuary there. This is where the telephone cable comes across from the mainland. You can have a look. So that fence that we saw, that was the Mamaku Point Conservation Reserve, and it is 158 hectare reserve with ancient native Karakup forest and areas previously grazed as farmland which are returning to their natural state. And 2.1 kilometre long predator proof fence ensures 125 species of birds, plants and invertebrate can thrive, which is pretty cool. The start of the track gives us a little description of where we're going. So we're here, and then we're going to stay at Port William campsite, not the hut because it was full. Then tomorrow we're going to go across to North Arm Hut, and then the last day we head back to Half Moon Bay. More information boards. Tells you about all the wildlife we can see here. Lots of wildlife. Whales and seals and dolphins and penguins and birds. Bit of a squeeze to get through the gate. Tsunami hazard zone. Right, here's a good one. I've talked about this before. Do not follow the blue triangles. They're pest control lines. So in New Zealand, all of our trails are marked with orange triangles. There's a cool tree up here. Look at them all. So it gets pretty windy here, looking at this tree. Beautiful beach. There's better beaches further along. This one's a bit rocky. Oh, the first hill. So these beautiful trees are fuchsia trees, forming a lovely archway across. And they have these little flowers down here. Cute little flowers. Other people. Group of 4 guys with huge packs. That's a traditional Kiwi tramping. Packs that big. They're most likely doing the northern circuit, which takes you off the Great Walk into a bit rougher tracks. Look at that gorgeous tree fern. Where weather forecast is looking absolutely miserable. We're soaking in a moment of sunshine, which is pretty nice. And we're lucky it's not too bad for the start of the hike, but we're well prepared for it to be raining most of the time. This is funny. I've got a track marker. This is what our track markers look like. But we don't really need it because the track is pretty well obvious. So track's lots of little ups and downs at the moment. That's a rather dramatic change of vegetation, and now we're going through this neat forest. Completely different trees. Walking along with the surf crashing in to our right. Birds twittering away. Been a couple of tuis already. I'll wait and get a nice clear shot before I take a video of one. Port William Hut, 3 hours, 6.4 kilometres. So they're talking just over 2 kilometres an hour on a track like this. Department of Conservation is a government department who's responsible for all of our conservation land, and they're responsible for these tracks. And they do these signposts, and the time, most signs used to just have a time estimate because the tracks can change your speed depending on how rough they are and how hilly. But the modern signs are now putting distance and time. But the times on a track like this would be for a very average hiker, someone who's not overly fit. So they're very conservative and gentle times. Once you get to the tramps, which are a bit more off the beaten track and for much more experienced trampers, then the times adjust accordingly. Oh, hey, stairs! Use your poles.
I'm short.
The advantage of being short, and she's still ducked. Didn't need to. Even I only just need to duck. Oh, got our first bridge coming up. Neat little bridge. As you can see, we've been going along the coast. Absolutely beautiful. And yeah, across the bridge. Warning sign about the seals and sea lions. So you can, if it's low tide, you can follow around to get to Port William, but it's high tide, so we will follow the track. Now the track degrades more to a traditional tramping track. Lots of orange markers. So the orange markers, they're a triangle and they point in the direction you're going. So you can see we have to turn a corner, so the point is that way, and that's the direction that we have to go. Yeah, this is more like normal hiking or tramping. Bit rougher, a few roots. Clambering over things. And Stuart Island is famous for mud. And unfortunately everyone tippy-toes around the mud, creating bigger mud. But until they actually put any sort of boardwalk through it, it's going to continue to happen. This is where poles come in handy. This is a bigger hill, lots of steps, still going up and up and up. Now we're back on a bigger track. Still climbing. These are the little machines that they use for the track maintenance. They're designed to fit on these tracks. They let the workers carry heavy loads of gravel, wood if they're doing repairs, and compactors as well. So that little yellow thing in the back of that is a compactor, just to make the trails good. So they're sort of like motorized wheelbarrows. And that pile underneath the tarpaulin there, they'll drop that by helicopter at points along the tracks. And Department of Conservation use helicopters a lot to get to the sites, including for cleaning out the toilets, and suck out the toilets and dispose of it responsibly. Now we get a bit of a downhill. It looks like back up again after this little bridge. Okay, so we're entering Māori owned land. Thank you to the iwi for letting us use this land. See the different types of systems they're trying to stop the erosion on the trails. This is a bellbird. Isn't that beautiful? That's the one that makes the beautiful noise.
It's so clear.
Wow, look at that beautiful beach down there. Crystal clear water. You can see the rocks in the water. Hey, this is the first steep downhill that we've been doing. Just using the poles to keep the weight off the knees. Got another view opening up. Oh, look, there's a pretty little island in there. Woohoo! Oh, that water looks beautiful. All the rocks. If it was a hotter day, might consider swimming. Port William Hut is just tucked in the corner there. So that's where we're going tonight. So we're making good progress. We've come a couple of kilometres, so we'll just keep going along the side of the ocean, up and down, to get to that point over there. Absolutely gorgeous. Oh, now we can see the sand of that little beach down there. How's that for a private beach? And good technique, down steep steps, both poles down, then she transfers her weight. So the poles are taking the weight off her knees. This is a steep hit. Stairs going up. The double pole technique works well for really steep going up as well. Both poles up and then use your arms to pull yourself up. And another hill. Just a few stairs, but we're nearly down at beach level, and then we're going to be on the beach for a while. Alright, now we're doing the low tide route. If we can get across this first stream. That looks pretty cool.
We want to get wet feet.
We came down there and then jumped across there, and yes, Mum jumped across as well. So now we're on the beach. Oh, there's a couple of oyster catchers keeping us away from their babies, so we'll keep along the edge of the beach. Different types of seaweed, different colours. That's pretty cool. Alright, yeah, that's where we've come from, and this this is Māori Bay. So now we get to walk along the beach. You can see a bridge just at the end there, and that's where we're heading. So we've got another 4k, an hour and a half. So this is the shelter, just in here. Should we keep going before it rains? We're on the beach. But we're going to keep going and head along this beautiful beach. The colour of this beautiful shellfish. It's gorgeous. And then we've got some interesting coloured seaweed. Oh, look at the colour of this. It's gorgeous.
Look at this.
Oh, yeah.
Really green.
It's lovely. Look at that. A beautiful firm sand to walk on. Look at this beautiful patches of seaweed. All sorts going on in there. Started raining, unfortunately, but we're back in the bush very soon. I've got my umbrella up just to get to the bush. If it keeps raining too hard, then I'm going to stop and put my raincoat on. Here's our bridge. So we go around back up to the high tide part. I love the sign. The bridge will break. Only up to 5 people, so yeah, it's quite a neat bridge. It's quite pretty. Bit of bounce to it. So this is a flash spring bridge. It looks steep getting up. There's mum disappearing around the corner. It's not flat. We're in a junction, so tomorrow we're going to take that way and go to North Arm Hut. However, we need to get to our campsite, which is 45 minutes, Port William, so 1.9 kilometres. Alright, that way. Yes, so the big trouble of heading out to go to this campsite is we're going downhill, and that means tomorrow we have to go back uphill. But it's just the way the campsites are on this walk. Absolutely beautiful area with all of the ferns all over the sides of the tracks. Oh, the beautiful ferns. And some bigger trees now as well. Heading down the stairs, but that's the ocean there, so we're nearly at sea level. So we did get all the way down to sea level, but we're going straight back up again. So we're nearly there. There's the jetty. It's quite common for people to get a water taxi to here and then walk back the way we've just come, so they just make it a day walk as opposed to the multi-day like we're doing. Yeah, so just on the other side of that little hill. So we've arrived. This is the campsite, and there is a shelter here which we're going to make the most of. Now we changed into our camp clothes. We had a hot drink to warm up. I put the tents up and then we relaxed for the rest of the afternoon. So you wouldn't know it from what the weather's like now, but it's been really windy and raining on and off, but pretty beautiful now. So here's my old faithful tent, and here's the new one, the old new one, but oh, this is just beautiful. So we're about to go over to our shelter there and have dinner. Mum's waiting. So it's dinner time. We have a 3-course meal. We are starting off with a soup, a beef and tomato soup. And then we have chicken tikka masala. And for dessert, we have instant pudding. Probably doesn't look appetizing, but it tastes really good. This is butterscotch flavour. So this is the shelter that anyone that's paid for the camping can relax in. There is actually water just behind here. So like most New Zealand huts, water's collected from the roof into the tanks, and then nice tap for us. And there's also a laundry line as well, and more seating. And a fantastic view. So there's 2 other couples here as well, but pretty quiet night. And the one problem with this site is sandflies. So these little things all over Mum are sandflies, and they bite. Thankfully, unlike mosquitoes, they don't bite through clothing. A couple of oyster catchers asleep on the beach. So that beautiful shot I had of the tents before, no more. It is windy and raining. So we're heading out to the tents to try and stop them blowing away. So this is the tent I'm using. It's a tarp tent contrail. I bought it a long time ago. Just before, I was going to use it for Te Araroa, but then I decided that I actually preferred the Z-Packs design after I'd started doing a bit of research. So I never used this, and I forgot I had it. But as I needed a tent for Mum and a tent for me, I pulled it out. So I had fun trying to put it up. It's not the easiest one to put up for the first time. I think it's something that you need to do some practice to get it right. I've jerry-rigged a pole there so I can see out. So I've got beautiful views out, you can see, but yeah, it's raining. I definitely prefer my other tent. This one, the walls just don't stand up, so I feel like my stuff's going to sit on the ground. And there's not a lot of height at the back where my feet go, so I'm pretty sure that I'm going to struggle with having enough foot room.